somebody comes and tells you that in these circumstances, they are the best government in the history of Ghana from Nkrumah's time, then they've got it completely wrong.
Fit Solutions prediction of victory for the NDC has also come up strongly, and some of the people here have been commenting on that. Many of them who have been speaking to say they are not surprised.
It's not likely. He is winning the election. Period. Nothing. You can't tell us anything. That is the fact. We are choosing experience. You understand? That is the fact. Nobody can tell us anything. There is a man whose record has lived before him. You understand? And that is what Ghanaians want. We don't want people who can talk. You understand? We want people who can do the work, and that is JM for you. He has won, hands down.
He's an excellent leader. He's done it before. He will do it again, and there is proof. We don't talk. We don't gibberish. We show working, and he's going to win the elections. He's going to do it, and he's going to do it again. The current government has failed us. He has failed us. He has failed us. Like F9 failed.
F9 failed. Not even E8. F9 failed.
At a mini deba at Balishi, John Mahama said the killing of 8 people during the 2020 presidential and parliamentary elections remains a blot on the conscience of the nation. He says if the NDC wins power, it will pay compensation to the victims of the Hausa West Wagon violence and also ensure persons responsible for the death of the 8 people during the 2020 elections are punished. Here in the Adenta constituency, specifically at the Adenta market, the women here welcomed him with songs. John Mahama talked about establishing a national women's bank to give women soft loans for business. He said most women do not even get 2,000 or 1,000 Ghana cedis to trade. That is why when the NDC is voted into power, we will set up a bank dedicated to women. We will call it the National Women's Bank. It does not matter what business you're engaged in. That bank will give you the loans to do business, he said. During an interaction with the clergy and traditional leaders, he said he will set up a commission of inquiry to investigate and return looted state lands to the original owners.
Commission of inquiry.
He said they have to leave government so Ghanaians can ask them questions about the lands they sold and who bought the lands. All the lands they sold, they will answer the questions.
The
lands are for all of us Ghanaians. Many of the lands are for chiefs, and then they take the lands and say they are going to use them for projects. But they end up selling them to themselves and their cronies. So when the commission of inquiry is set up, Ni Ashali and all chiefs go and put all your demands before them. We will investigate that, he said.
Commission of inquiry Ni Ashali Botre ne Wumpenyi Obi Anfa na asem nkoto commission of inquiry nenim. No mu hwehwe mu hwan na to asase no. What on is saying, one horn out toss us, you know. Wait to attack saying, and wait me at toss us, I see. Sign your money now, your baby some.
watching Join Newsroom, the former president, they're talking about a commission of inquiry to look into the purchase of state lands. Well, the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Samuel Abujanapor, has indicated that he will welcome any bill against the sale and purchase of state lands to public officials. This follows allegations that the current government is selling state lands to its cronies, triggering a decision by a Member of Parliament for Norton, Samuel Kudeto Ablakwa, to lay a bill in Parliament against the purchase of state lands by government officials. Now, speaking on Newsfile, Samuel Abujanapor agreed the bill, if introduced, will help address the issue.
That when the Honorable Ablakwa presents such a bill, if he's able to do that within this meeting of Parliament, I believe that the matter will be subjected to scrutiny. But the general principle of conflict of interest and the very fine line which exists when it comes to conflict of interest relating to public officials and state property, that for me is a matter that we all have to be mindful of. I mean, there's absolutely no two ways about that. To that extent, I believe that if we define the rules clearly, that will go a long way to help.
Okay.
But on the broader issue of the management and utilization of our land and natural resources.
Yes, respectfully, before you get there, I want to get a clearer answer from you. In principle, will you in Parliament, as the majority, on your part at least, support a bill to prohibit, outright prohibition of public officials acquiring state property?
Well, I think it should be fair to me. I will not be able to speak for the majority.
Yeah, I want you to speak for yourself. Sorry.
Well, for myself, I will find it difficult to subscribe to an arrangement where a public official is acquiring public property. But as I said, I think the principle, the overarching fundamental principle is a principle of conflict of interest. And the nuances will be broader than we probably can exhaust through this conversation. Because first of all, you will define who a public officer is. Second of all, you now have to have a conversation about the general contours of it. I mean, what are the circumstances under which this should be permissible or not permissible? But the general principle, in general terms, that public officials should not acquire public property. That one is something that I will not quarrel with. I will not have a difficulty with at all. Because public service is exactly what it should be, public service. You come into public life, you come into public life to serve. If you want to make money and acquire property, you go into private sector and make money and then acquire as many properties as you wish. And that nobody will have a problem with. I don't have any difficulty with that kind of arrangement. But I'm saying the intricacies of it will have to be dealt with in Parliament if such a bill ever were to be presented to Parliament. Yeah.
Right.
Mr. Abujanapor also accused some public institutions of treating and selling lands as their own properties.
It's not all public lands which are utilized or which are leveraged to private sector, which is in and by itself wrong. Much of Accra, Central Accra, and some of what we see now as the parts of government and so on and so forth are public lands, and which you examine, you will come to objective conclusion that serve the country well. And several parcels of public land which are deployed private sector participation, which is help the country. And so, when the discussion is, it is not all public land which are sold or leased, which in and by themselves are bad. I know the judiciary, for example, have done several arrangements where judges have gotten a lot of bungalows in the use of land which have bungalows, say 4 or 5 acres, and the lands were not being utilized optimally. But so in cases where the system has been abused, we deal with it. And more importantly, is to put in place institutional reforms, institutional framework to prevent the abuse. And when the abuse happens, they are flagged immediately.
Oh, we're moving on to other news. The chiefs and residents of Mepe in the Volta region say they live in a state of fear and uncertainty following reports of an imminent spillage of Viakosombo Dam Almost a year after their homes and properties were destroyed by the dam spillage, they claim they have been neglected by government. Togbe Kwesi Nego, the fourth of the Mepe traditional area, says their fears have been heightened by the fact that the Volta River Authority has not informed them of when they intend to carry out the exercise. Adobe Asare was there and has filed this report.
In September 2023, the Volta River Authority, in a bid to protect the Akosombo Dam, spilled excess water accumulated in the dam. The spillage caused a major havoc to settlements around the dam, especially Mepe, which is yet to be resettled by government.
This year, we have heard another sad news that there's going to be a possible controlled spillage. Last year, I said this, that committee should be set up to investigate and plan future spillages, of which nothing was done about it. We heard that interministerial committee was set up, and we have been in expectation that the interministerial committee will come to us as affected people and listen to some of our challenges. But up to now, we have not met with the interministerial committee.
Despite the challenges facing them, the people of Mepe will still hold their annual Afenyoto Festival, which aims at bringing people from all walks of life together to help develop the town again. Chairman of the Mepe Development Association, Kojo Mawulenu Fabian, explains why the people will go ahead with the festival.
Last year one has been most historic in the sense that over 12,000 and more people of our people have been displaced. Several houses have been submerged and destroyed. Our people in Mepe traditional area are still living under tents. But here we are, days away to celebrate the festival. We should be asking ourselves, how should we be celebrating festival when our people are under tents? But it is the case that we have to celebrate it, but do so in remembrance of last year's flood disaster.
Working under the theme, Rebuilding and Sustainability of Mepe Post-Akosombo Dam Flood Disaster, the people of Mepe believe with the right spirit of unity and resilience, they can rebuild their community again.
So when was the last time you went to the market, and how were the prices on your shopping list? Well, at the Agbowoshi market, customers decry the high prices of food items, especially vegetables, making it difficult for shoppers to put a hearty meal on the table of their families. My colleague, Mamesi Nyameche Thompson, was at the Agbowoshi market and reports.
Going to the market in recent times is an anxious journey for many customers here in Accra. Consistent price hikes is kicking budgets out of gear. At the Agbowoshi market, shoppers were not in the least excited. Basic ingredients such as onions, tomatoes and pepper, a constant for many Ghanaian dishes, were priced high. Doris had come to the market to shop for her eatery, but was visibly upset when she realized the prices of the items on her list had increased way beyond her budget.
Contomre 5 cedi. Namato oil 30 cedis, meto half 15 cedis.
A sack of onions is so expensive. I'm unable to buy. It costs 1,500 cedis. So I had to leave the trader there. Everything is so expensive. It's impacting my business. Oil is expensive, onion is expensive, tomatoes is expensive, even pepper. Why? Sister, why?
Sister, Aden.
As for Zainabu, her strategy was to get the items on credit from traders she had befriended to ease the pressure on her pockets.
For about a month now, I don't buy fresh tomatoes. It's too expensive. It is priced over 100 cedis. I now use tomato paste, some onion, pepper for my stews. My budget of 400 cedis is always not enough. often, I have to take items on credit.
81-year-old grandmother I chanced on had come to the market with her husband. Eavesdropping on her bargain with the onion seller, she asked for a top-up or she wasn't going to pay.
What is Kaba market? And yet, and so what is the Canabana and Swan? What is in your manner? What on the Swan? Yeah, me,
The situation, according to onion traders, is going to get tougher in the coming months. Mamodu, a leader at the Agbogboleshi onion market, told me that the lean season for the vegetable has set in, and this is likely to push prices higher.
Believe me, if you go to Niger, one is from here to Kaswa, when they put onion, but Ghana, no onion. If there is some in Ghana here, the price will not go up like that. Season time, this you can sell it 10 cedis. You see, the season time. And now it's 40 cedis.
And now, so higher until November.
Correct.
Right, okay.
As for pepper, the least you can buy is 10 cedis. Traders can sell to you at 5 cedis, but that may only be enough for a meal. Antialis explains the dynamics of the pepper trade.
As for the pepper, the prices aren't stable. It could go up or come down. Now, it's selling from 5 to 10 cedis. Some weeks ago, I wouldn't sell at 5 cedis.
On the other hand, tomato prices have slightly come down after months of a surge. From over 2,000 cedis, the big basket is now selling between 1,200 cedis and 1,500 cedis. Anti-peace has been trading for more than 20 years.
By God's grace, the prices have come down. It went as high as 2,000 cedis. But now you can get even 1,000 cedis. You will get plenty for 20 cedis.
Oh, 20 cedis there, baby.
It is still expensive to put food on the table for the average household. I met Aisha, a head porter, who shared the struggle of how difficult it was to always put food on the table.
Preparing rice and stew now requires at least 100 cedis. Rice alone costs as much as 30 cedis. The remaining 70 cedis will have to cater for vegetables and oil. I can't afford fish. And this is for my husband and I.
So, from the looks of it, when you decide to go to the market, budget a little higher so that you can be able to afford the items on your list. For Joy News, Mamiesi Nyamiche Thompson.
Well, we are taking you to the Techiman Central Market, where traders are appealing to authorities to implement policies to reduce the rampant increase in prices of maize at the market. The traders who attribute the price hike to the scarcity of the commodity, which is fueled by the exportation of maize to neighboring Francophone countries, want authorities to ban its export to prevent a possible food shortage in the country. Correspondent Anas Abed has more.
The current scarcity of maize, coupled with a spike in its prices across major markets in the country, continue to pose as a major threat to food security in the country. With traders here at the Techiman, maize market lamenting the negative effects of the current situation on their lives in general. They are saying that traders from neighboring Burkina Faso, Mali, and Ivory Coast are trooping into the country to buy the little maize we have in the country due to the exchange rate that is quite favoring them. They are saying that if care is not taken, the time will come where food will be scarce in the country if care is not taken. We've been speaking with some traders here at the Techiman maize market, and these are some of the things they've been telling us.
But Maize production in the country has been affected due to the rain pattern, and the little that we have here is being taken away by traders from neighboring Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger. The actions means we do not have some to sell to our customers.
The report that we are hearing that these people, Côte d'Ivoire people, they used to come here and then buy the maize, transport them back to Côte d'Ivoire, because our currency it has been a beast. So instead of we, the Ghanaian people, to sell it to ourselves, they are rather selling to the foreigners because of our currency.
There's no
maize in the market, and this is because our suppliers from the northern part of the country are exporting the product to the neighboring countries, thereby putting us out of business. The government has not been helping us. We have allowed other countries to get into the country to take the little food we have, and this is because of the weak nature of our currency. So what is the government doing to save the fallen city?
A bag of maize some 3 weeks ago used to sell at 630 Ghana cedis. Now, 3 weeks on, same bag of maize here at the Techiman Maize Market is being sold around 850 Ghana cedis. A situation these traders are saying is affecting, buying and selling, as buyers are unable to afford the hike in the prices of this commodity. They believe the situation is bringing undue hardship on Ghanaians in general.
Last 3 weeks. Now, bro, 630 cedis.
3 weeks ago, a bag of maize was selling at 630 Ghana cedis here. Today, it's been sold at 850 Ghana cedis just because of the scarcity of the product. And this is mainly because the Francophone countries are now buying the maize. We do not understand at all because we don't know how much it will be sold in a month's time.
Within 3 weeks, I did tell me 630, and then about 850 cedis. Now, if I say, 1 month coming, no say never.
The current situation is not only affecting these traders here, as truck drivers who transport this, maize products to other parts of the country are equally pained with the current situation. They say the high cost of fuel prices, coupled with the rise in the prices of spare parts, is equally pushing them out of business, and the current situation is contributing to the hardships they are facing as drivers.
It brings a lot of difficulty. As for me here to Cape Coast, I buy this thing, fuel. Let's say 1,600. If I don't get the load, I will buy the same 1,600 back to Cape Coast. And where am I? So as for the drivers, in fact, we are dying. They say fuel buakoso. Unlike first, Kaubana said, "Be 120 bucks per annum." And I'm saying fuel no born from the waiting there. So buy what it is over Yakaka. This is say fuel born baby. I pay as I could do. Lord Fair, so tuma in ye. And this is a wool do car. Now at least car man, you're fuller. Paboka. Jama for I say, another buy the Kuna turn 1 CD. Some they say I do 10 CD. Why here I bet on 50 CD. The one fan to only high, no messages are brewing in uncle. 3 months coming, Docono, a bubble Docono could be a 50 CD.
Well, these traders here at the Techiman Central Market have a common plea. All they are calling on government to do is to ensure that steps are being instituted to ensure that the little maize we have in the country is not being taken away by their counterparts or traders from the neighboring Francophone countries. They say if care is not taken, a time will come where food will be highly scarce in the country. From the Techiman Maize Market for Joy News, my name is Anna Sabit reporting.
And this is the Joy Newsroom. We are taking a short break. We will be right back. Welcome back. In just 2 years, Ghana's press freedom ranking has dropped from 30th to 62nd in the World Press Freedom Index. Also, Despite the severe impact of climate change on the country and sub-Saharan Africa at large, media reportage on the development is still lacking. To help change the narrative, the Ghana Center for Democratic Development, CDD Ghana, has launched the Defending Media Freedom and Strengthening Climate Reporting project. The multimedia group and other media houses have been awarded grants to defend media freedom and promote climate reportage. Here's more in this report.
Media freedom in Ghana has come under scrutiny recently, with many journalists facing attacks, particularly during election period. In response, the Ghana Center for Democratic Development, in partnership with the Danish Embassy, has initiated the SDG 13 and 16 project to promote media freedom and climate reporting. The Multimedia Group Limited received a grant to spark the conversation on media freedom as activities for 2024 general elections intensify. Kweku Owusu-Pepra, representing the Multimedia Group, emphasized the need to create a safe environment for journalists.
Silence is not the signature of journalism. Silence is not journalism. And so we continue to scream. We continue to whisper. And we continue to hold these mics wherever we go and ask the difficult questions. We hope we go out there and come back home to our families safely every day. And so when we have support to amplify this voice, that protects ourselves, it's only fair that we can say, yes, we commit. This is our beat. The media doesn't like talking about ourselves, but this matter, we will talk it. And we'll echo it to the ends of the earth. So the politicians get to know that they cannot abuse us and go scot-free. And that the more they do, the more we will shout.
Coordinator in charge of strategic partnerships and projects at the Multimedia Group's Joy Brands, Emefa Atiamoa Eli, explained that the Multimedia Team's project focuses on two major activities: defend media freedom stakeholder dialogues and social media campaigns. The group will also train journalists on safety in the line of their work.
With the help of these projects and supported by CDD, we at the Multimedia Group are going to organize two major dialogues, one for the southern sector and the other for the northern sector. The idea is to bring together stakeholders in the media. This will include media owners, journalists, regulators, civil society, political parties, So they'll be able to discuss what it requires or what is needed to be able to provide a safe environment for the journalists to operate. So as part of the activities we are rolling out is also to train the journalists. The idea is that we do not want to assume that we all know. And so we want to take the lead by teaching them or pretending they don't know. Yes, a few others they may know, but as human beings, there are times that we take things for granted. We want to use this opportunity to remind them that as you are out there doing your job, you have a responsibility. You must sift through the information which is coming to you, because then it's about people, it's about organizations, and also because it's an election year, there's going to be lots of fake news. How are you able to tell the wrong from the right? So we are also going to provide that platform for, at least on our platform, which is the Multimedia Group. We are training not less than 275 journalists across the country.
Other individuals and groups also received grants for climate reporting to highlight the impact of climate change and ways to tackle its effect. Samatha Pesu's report read to you.
Now, stakeholders in health are calling on the government to show commitment in meeting the country's co-financing obligation under the Gavi vaccine initiative to avert an imminent shortage of essential vaccines for immunizations of children against the 6 killer diseases. Currently, Ghana is yet to meet 60% of her obligation under the Gavi initiative. The executive director for the Hope for the Future Generation, an NGO in health, Cecilia Sanu, speaking on the sidelines of a stakeholder engagement on vaccine and immunization finance in Accra underscored the need for a sustainable plan towards vaccine severity in Ghana.
It's very important that the country meets its immunization co-financing. One, if we don't pay or if we don't meet our co-financing, I know it's not easy. There are so many financial challenges, but if we don't meet the immunization co-financing, our children will not be protected from preventable diseases. Children will start dying because there will not be vaccine to protect them and to build their immunity. So I believe that the government is very much interested in children because they are the future generations. And so they will put in resources to meet the co-financing to support sustainable vaccine for our children. For 2024, Ghana has paid 40% of the Gavi co-financing. We have also met our co-financing obligation for 2023. Ghana has paid the last part of it. So what we are really looking at now is that Ghana should pay the rest 60%, even if we are able to pay 40%, 80%, and then by the end of the year we pay the rest. I think it will be good for us. We will not face vaccine shortages for children, and children will get all the necessary immunization because Gavi will be able to help us to get all the necessary vaccines, including the traditional vaccines for our children. We need to plan. You know, that the issue is planning because we all know the co-financing and monies that we have to pay to our donors because donors are all looking at transition one day. They will not be with us, and it's important that we increase our domestic resources. We increase our tax revenue. You know, it's very important that revenue is the plan for children and to meet all the co-finances that donors are all looking at, especially donors who give us resources for immunization, vaccine sustainability. It's important that we really sustain and maintain our vaccine sovereignty for our children to ensure that their future is protected.
Now, researchers in Ghana and in Africa are set to receive financial support targeted at advancing research and innovative solutions to eliminate neglected tropical diseases on the continent. This follows the signing of a cooperative agreement between the African Research Network for Neglected Tropical Diseases and the Coalition for Operational Research on Neglected Tropical Diseases, a program of the Task Force for Global Health. The 5-year collaboration comes in the wake of Ghana recording at least 35 novel cases of dengue fever and the prevalence of other tropical diseases in the country. There's more in this report.
Over 500 million poor people in sub-Saharan Africa are reported to be affected by various neglected tropical diseases. Ghana, for instance, recently recorded the novel dengue fever. The diseases, caused by either bacteria, virus or parasites, form 80% of recorded cases of NTDs globally. Research into eradicating the diseases on the continent remains an expensive task, with most African scientists troubled with inaccessibility to research grants. Professor John Amoesi is principal investigator for the African Research Network for Neglected Tropical Diseases.
We still do struggle with a lot of NTDs. It may interest you that we announced the first actual confirmed case of a certain NTD called dengue fever in Ghana. It's an NTD. So we have a lot to address. The filariasis, lymphatic filariasis, as you know, our own Professor Deborah here at KNUST is one of the world's leading researchers on filariasis. It's an NTD and onchocerciasis together with Linda Deborah, who are all in this university at KCCR. Myself and my group, we do work in various NTDs, including snake bite, for example, which is also a big NTD. So the situation is dire, and we have the solutions. We have the solutions. We just need to find the best way of deploying them.
The African Research Network for Neglected Tropical Disease has signed a partnership agreement with the Coalition for Operational Research on Neglected Tropical Diseases to facilitate NTDs elimination across Africa. The agreement is funded under the newly signed USAID Cooperative Agreement Ending Tropical Diseases Through Operational Research. Dr. Patrick Lamy is the director of CONTD, a program of the Task Force for Global Health.
We're proud of the partnership that we have with ARNTD. ARNTD has been a key partner for us for the last 8 years in supporting grants to support young African researchers. Through this new award, we're going to expand that program, and ARNTD is going to take a larger role with Core NTD in supporting research to influence the outcomes of NTD programs across the continent.
The 5-year partnership agreement is hosted at the Kumasi Center for Collaborative Research in Tropical Medicines at the KNUST. Professor Ellis Owusu-Dabo is the Pro-VC of KNUST.
We're delighted because the USAID is funding what they call the Core NTD, which obviously is operational research that supports neglected diseases. We desire to see our young faculty research in neglected tropical diseases to ensure that they build their own capacities and support the next generation of researchers.
The project is expected to support national governments in the creation of robust NTD programs through introduction of endemic country program managers and researchers to align their efforts. Professor Gertruda Hester O'Neill is the board chair of ARNTD.
For the past 10 years, KCCR has hosted the Secretariat for the ARNTD, and all administrative processes have been governed through KCCR and NUST. And therefore, the applications also went through these organizations together with ARNTD.
For Joy News, my name is Emmanuel Bright-Kweku.
Now, the Ghana Health Service has identified lack of accommodation as one of the challenges affecting healthcare delivery in the whole municipality of the Volta region. The whole municipal director of health services, Perfect Titiati, who disclosed this, said the development makes it very difficult for healthcare workers to provide uninterrupted service to clients. She made this known at the commissioning ceremony of a 2-unit staff bungalow for the Ziavi Health Center.
The Ziavi Health Center serves a clientele of about 4,000 in its catchment area. With a staff strength of 10, the center is the first point of call for residents for health needs. However, the lack of accommodation makes it difficult for caregivers to be available to render emergency services during odd hours. This development is widespread across the whole municipality.
It makes it difficult for us to post staff to our rural communities and to keep them in the community. And so most of our communities around here, when we post staff, the story we have is that they all reside in Ho and they commute to their facilities because they don't get decent accommodation to live in. Now when they work and it's time, they close and they go back, we are not able to provide 24-hour continuous service to the communities that we serve.
This prompted the Ziavi traditional authorities to self-initiate the construction of a staff bungalow project in 2023. The project stalled after the completion of the structural works with the proceeds of the 2023 Abazonizan celebrations. Through the influence of the Jutofia of Ziavi, Togbe Ajanye IV, the First Atlantic Bank provided funding for the completion of the 2-unit, 2-bedroom bungalow. The board chairman of the bank, Amakwe Ama, said the initiative aims at contributing to achieving universal health coverage in Ghana.
Your efforts have reaffirmed our belief that businesses have a crucial role to play in fostering societal well-being. As we officially open the doors to the Ziavi Health Quarters, let this facility symbolize our shared commitment to the health and prosperity of the Ziavi community. We believe that through continuous collaboration, innovation, and dedication, we can make a significant difference in the lives of many.
The acting president of the Ziavi Traditional Council and the chief of Ziavi Lume, Togbe Ajakojo IV, lauded the efforts of the bank.
We indeed very grateful. Again, we continue to play Oliver Twist as we humbly ask for another edifice to be well furnished, which will solely be used for maternity services. In fact, our aim is to expand this facility into polyclinic in the near future.
Togbe Ajanye requested the bank to help realize the community's vision of upgrading the health center to a polyclinic status.
I am pleading on behalf of the people of Ziavi that this
maternity ward or facility request, please, Mr. Chairman, you are now a citizen of Ziabi. But you are not going to do it because you are a citizen of Ziabi. Thank you, and I know you will fulfill that promise. I'm most grateful.
Fred Kwame Asai, joining Ziabi.
All right, you're watching Joy Newsroom. Time to bring you some business news. And the Ghana Police Service, in collaboration with the Bank of Ghana, has closed down Deknok investments located at Nugua and Ashaiman in the Greater Accra region in accordance with the Banks and Specialized Deposit-Taking Institutions Act 2016. Here's more in this report.
Statement released by the BOG said Deknok Investment was engaged in unauthorized deposit taking, contrary to Section 6 of Act 930. The statement said the Ghana Police Service is conducting further investigations into the operations of Deknok Investment. It advised all customers of Deknok Investment to remain calm while investigations continue and added that the general public and all stakeholders will be informed on subsequent actions. The bank said it will continue to clamp down on illegal deposit-taking operations and all offenders shall be dealt with in accordance with the law.
That story and in the Joy Newsroom. More news on our website, myjoyonline.com. My name is Darryl Kwao. Thanks for watching.